Hi folks, welcome to Riva Del Garda Day 2. What have we got on the radar today? Now you might have seen me clinging on for dear life on a cliff in Switzerland recently on the Specialized Levo video. You'll see that I was on flat pedals and flat pedal shoes. I was actually using these little numbers here, the Crankbrothers stamps. It's kind of the reason that I use flat pedals. Mainly it's kind of habit because I've been riding flat pedals most of my life, but also like I need to get my foot off really quickly and I simply haven't made the adjustment to clipped-in shoes. So not only have you got the shoes from Crankbrothers, there's also got a really great range of pedals. What I love about Crankbrothers pedals is they come in different sizes, different colors. One thing I did actually notice on Crankbrothers is this easy release cleats. So possibly the future I could be looking at, you know, trying something that I can get my foot out easily. Again, I'm just stuck in my ways. Sebastian, I've just seen these new Mallet E's. Is that an e-bike pedal?
No, it's not an e-bike. It stands for enduro, or as the French say, enduro. But yeah, it's our most common pedal, and yeah, if you're trying to get gnarly, that's the one.
What's the difference between enduro and DH then?
So DH stands for downhill, of course, but it's 15% bigger. You got more pins to adjust, you know, the traction on the pedal. But yeah, it's just a bigger pedal, more meat on the bone, and more cushion for the pushing, you know?
At the Schwalbe stand, ladies and gentlemen, can I introduce you to my favorite tire in the world, the Shredder. What an incredible tire for wet, muddy conditions, just like you get in Wales. A lot of people talk about power at the moment, when actually, if you've not got a great tire on the back of your bike, it actually counts for nothing. So I would argue that if you had an 85 Newton meter bike with a really good tire on the back compared to a 100 Newton meter bike with a bad tire on the back, you're at an advantage with the 85 Newton meter bike. So the Shredder, actually the Shredder Radial, gravity comes in front and rear specific. You can just see the paddles on that really does dig into the ground, and the compound on this tire is super sticky. Now, what I'd like to talk about in the next few months is actually location specific tires, because when you ride on an e-mountain bike, it's really crucial you get the right tires. Now, Schwalbe have actually got lots of tires in the range. You might have seen a recent trip I did to Italy. I actually had the Albert Gravities on the bike. Those were because it was hard pack conditions, it was rocky, it was hard single track conditions, so that's the tyre I used on that trip where we got lost in Italy. Now the tyre I use most of all is probably the Magic Mary. Now the reason for that, this is a tyre which is meant for looser, loamier conditions. You can see the tread pattern on there. There's plenty to dig into. What I want to point out as well is the Schwalbe radials come in two casings. So you've actually got the gravity casing, which you've got here on this one, which got, you know, it's quite strong sidewall. But if you want to save weight, a lot of people talking about, you know, the weight of their e-bikes. If you saw that video I did on the Specialized recently, that's a bike which you can build at, you know, at 23 kilos in an enduro downhill spec. But as we saw on the Specialized stand a few days ago, you can actually put like a 36 or a lighter tire on the bike and take that bike to under 20 kilos. So here's the trail casing on that Magic Mary as well. One other thing, when I mentioned location, now the low power e-mountain bikes such as the Spectral on Fly, which we've used on the channel. Now I think if you're riding in trail centers, a low profile, harder compound tire like this one here would actually make that bike a flying machine. So location and tires is something I'm going to come on to in the future. Could you give us a 30-second synopsis of Radial, please?
Yeah, the construction is different, and I don't want to talk about the inside, but what you get is a tire that wraps around obstacle much more, so you get more contact patch, which helps you to get grip and also to get comfort. And that gives you more speed, and also if you climb uphill you get more control and can get more of your ride, especially with a powerful eMTB, which makes more fun.
So you can actually run the radial tires at different pressures to you would on a conventional tire, right?
Yes, it depends on your riding style. We recommend to start with your normal riding pressure, but you can even increase the tire pressure because the tire is more supple. So it feels softer, and that makes it possible to run higher pressure, but even with a higher pressure, you get more contact patch and more grip.
And I guess the great thing about running higher tire pressure is the fact you're less prone to punctures as well, right?
Yes, for sure. This is really important because if you ride on an e-bike, the worst thing you can get is a puncture. You know, you want to keep on riding, we all want to have fun.
So there you go, folks. Quick rundown of the Schwalbe range and also the whole business about radial. It's a massive performance advantage on an e-bike, mountain bike, that's for sure. Schwalbe don't just do tyres. Look at this SOS pump, 35 euros, fits in your pocket. Brilliant. Guaranteed you go to a trade event and there'll be a ton of e-bike specific components, but I've been thinking, actually, why not just use like gravity components? I've been looking at these gradient range from FSA. Now, these are the handlebars that the lunatic G Atherton uses. I'm quite fussy when it comes to bar shape. I think there is a sweet spot for everybody, which is determined by the shape of your body. 8 back sweep and a 3 up sweep on this gradient bar. You've got aluminium or carbon versions, you've got a stem as well. Wheels. Now Blake, my colleague Blake, has just done a feature on these new gravity wheels. So if these wheels can stand the hide-ins that the likes of G and Blake give them, then they might be just the right thing for e-mountain bikes. It's nice, isn't it? Cube stereo 144, Bosch CX, 100 Newton meter upgrade. Lovely paintwork, coming in at €6,999. So here's one. I need glasses, but I also need riding glasses. These are the ones I use, £6, so 5 for 25 quid. So I'm on the hunt for glasses. As you can see, we're at the Evil Eye stand and they do prescription riding glasses. How cool is that? But also I need some just normal glasses. So what you reckon, folks? There's these ones. Or what about some white ones? I don't know about you guys, but I seem to get more dirt and flies in my eyes than ever before. But I'm with Thomas actually from Evil Eye. There's some technical details which Thomas can talk us through here.
Yeah, so in general I would say there's 2 very important things on the frame. At first, the frame. So we have several different types of technology that we can offer. So you can adjust the inclination of the temple here. You can adjust the nose pads, so either put it inwards or outwards. We have several frames with ventilation system to get the perfect ventilation and don't have problem with fog on the lens.
There's lots of fog in Wales.
Yes, lots of fog. And also, I guess you sweat a lot. So if you don't want that to be a problem for you, we have the ventilation system. And then, of course, we have different lenses. So these are contrast enhancing, and the ones you are wearing at the moment is photochromatic. So at first it's giving you a very bright view and also gets darker when it's sunny outside.
2 things there, Thomas. A, I've got fog from a late night, and B, I'm sweating from a late night as well. And these glasses aren't steaming up, so it actually work. What model are these then?
Yeah, so this is one of the most popular models at the moment. It's called Evil Eye Road Sense. Yeah, it's available in different sizes. You can also change the lens if you want, and yeah, you can combine the lens you want with the frame you want. Price is 220. So yes, of course, it's made in Austria, so it's always focus in our case definitely is on quality.
So that's a quality bit of kit you're looking at there. What do you think, folks? I like them. Thanks, Thomas.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Sad news actually that very recently the passing of Franco Fratton, EXT founder, one of the cleverest suspension engineers in the world. Very sad news, really sad news. Had some great times with Franco over the years. Yeah, so best wishes to everyone at EXT and the family. So yeah, back to Pedroni race, Ollie motor, EXT shock absorber, fork on here, really nice looking bike. What's really interesting, you get to 7 o'clock on a Saturday night and you try to get information on the stands, technical information of the products, and it's really, really difficult to find. Friso Lawscheider, please give me some proper information on the GT hybrid wheels, please.
Thank you very much for asking. Yes, this is our top-of-the-line product from the hybrid lineup. So we're talking about the HXC 1200, where we're offering a very nice, lightweight and reliable carbon fiber rim, combined with specific hybrid spokes, which are reinforced versions of our newest Revo Light high-end mountain bike spokes, but especially reinforced for hybrid, which means e-bike use of DT Swiss.
I guess the thing with wheels, I mean, building a wheel is an art, isn't it? To get the right flex to stiffness balance. Really difficult business, right?
It is. You need really to find the right components, which means the hub, the spokes, the nipples and the rim, combine the right ones to get the best result of a system, because if it comes to wheel, it's a system of components which needs to work together the right way.
What I find really interesting is if you've got a front wheel which has got good compliance to it, the effect it has on your upper body is absolutely incredible, isn't it?
It is too, and that's why today we're using different rims on the front than for the rear, because for the rear more solid is good. For the front, what you exactly described right now, compliance is as well quite important to get this soft shocks back from you and find the right line when you're going downhill in a fast way.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Frizo.
You're welcome.
Okay,
Thank
cheers.
you for showing up.
Another brand from Austria, Gloryfy. Max, those are unbreakable, surely?
They are. Unbreakable, fully adjustable on the hangers, lightweight, so you can wear them all day long without any problems.
Whoa, okay. Price?
Between 150 and 220, depends on the model and on the glasses and the shades.
Right, Max, I'm going to try on a few pairs, okay? These ones, I think these go with the music. Like those. Now this is a brand we saw at Eurobike last year, Cilo from Zurich in Switzerland. Pleased to say these bikes are now in production. I'm going to give you a quick tour of the bikes in the range. Now, first of all, we've got the Cayano, which is 170mm travel front and rear, 27.5. Really good component specification on this bike. 800 watt-hour battery, which looks like is removable. Shimano EP801 drive unit. Now, the great thing with the Cilo bikes is that there's two presets. So you've got a preset which gives you loads of range, or you've got a preset which gives you loads of power. And obviously you can toggle your own kind of setup for the motors as well. This now is the Tane, which is 140mm travel. Same full carbon frame, obviously different component spec. Still got the 800 watt-hour battery in that, but this time we're going to 29. And then we've got the beautiful lightweight Tane, which is still 140mm travel, still full carbon frame, but this time it's got a 400 watt-hour battery in that down tube. Now, I've always been a big fan of THOK bikes, created by Stefano Migliorini and his colleagues. This is the Gram. It's a full carbon bike. It's got 180mm travel. So when you pair that with a motor, which is the Askoll, 110 Nm and 1200 watts peak power, you've got a serious e-mounted bike on your hands. 820 watt-hour battery from BMZ. So, I mean, that's quite a package. Now with Luca, who's the general manager of Askoll. Now this THOK bike is actually from sort of Piedmont region, whereas the motor Askoll comes from Veneto. Luca, what's Veneto famous for?
Veneto is famous, of course, for the famous Venetian Republic, that in year 500 was controlling entire Europe, with their ships. So we are willing to control entire Europe with our motors.
Well, I was going to say, because you've got 110 Nm and 1200 watts peak power.
Yes.
That's a pretty serious motor, right?
Absolutely. And what's important is entirely developed and made in Italy in our factory.
Crikey, this is a bit of a revelation. Now, if we're talking racing and weight and power, could this be the bike that has it all? This is the race-winning bike of Mirko Tabacchi, who is from Veneto. This bike RDR is actually from the Valle d'Aosta, very famous downhill area in the northwest of Italy. Look at the details on this bike. I mean, you've got Öhlins up front, 38, you've got a coil shock, 820 watt-hour battery, and you've got some wheels in here which are called Damil, which are also an Italian company. But you know, you've got like 110 newton meters and, like I said earlier, 1200 watts peak power, and a bike which weighs, I'm guessing this bike is around about 19-20 kilos. So quite a revelation here at the Askoll stand here at Riva Del Garda. One thing actually which I did mention a few days ago here at the Askoll stand is the fact that they actually make a 756 watt hour battery which weighs in at 3.5 kilos. So when you combine that with the motor, which is 2.9 kilos, you get a system which weighs in at less than 6.5 kilos. So yeah, when it comes to power to weight and all that, definitely a brand to think about.